Hello, this is a little tutorial video that will deal with linear and non-linear editing. In other words, multi-track editing. I'm going to be using Adobe Audition. I have version 1.5, so we'll open that up right now. And if you go to the left-hand side there, you've got a file panel which has three tabs: Files, Effects and Favourites. We won't be using effects or favourites for our purposes at this stage, but with the files it's pretty obvious. You use that to open up the files. Now what I've done is I've taken the tutorial, that's the radio news package which you'll find in Blackboard. I've taken that and I've split that up into its component parts. I've edited its component parts. So what we'll do is we'll use our multi-track facility to put together those component parts into the radio news package as you've heard it in Blackboard. So the first thing we do is, this is the story that Linda Mottram did, and the first thing we do is we identify the intro to the news package, and this is the intro that the newsreader or the news presenter reads. You don't read your intro. I want your intro as a document or a text file, and then your package, which will consist of your opener, your first voicer, the grab that you've got, and then your closer. So what we have here is the radio news package intro, which you've heard, and I'll just select that and pop that into our files list. Then I'll go to the Mottram voicer number 1 and I'll open that, and we'll pop that into the files list. Then I'll open the Stephen Smith grab, which is what Linda Mottram had edited out of an interview that she did with the Defence Minister Stephen Smith, and we'll put that in our files list as well. And then last but not least, we go to the Mottram closer, which is Mottram out closer. That's the one there, and we'll open that up. So there we are, we've got our four components. The listener heard a radio news package consisting of the radio news package intro, which was read by the news presenter. Then that through to Linda Mottram, the reporter. So we had Linda setting the scene with the Mottram voicer number 1. She then through to the Stephen Smith grab. Then we heard the closer from Linda Mottram. So let's see how we put all this together in our multi-track view in Adobe Audition. Now Adobe Audition has, or this particular version, has 128 tracks to play with. We only need about 5 of those. Why do we need 5 when we've got only 4 files? Well, we need a track to mix down. So let's do the first. Let's select a track. The first piece obviously is going to be the radio news package intro, so we'll select that and we'll add that to the first track. We'll select the second track, and that would be Mottram voicer number 1, so we'll add that to the second track. So there we have our first piece, the radio news package intro. Second piece is the Mottram voicer number 1. Then, just to make things a little clearer, we'll just reduce the size of those. So there we go. The next one, of course, is the Smith grab that Linda throws to. We'll add that to track 3, and then to track 4 we'll put the Mottram closer, and we'll add that to track 4. So there we are. We've got our 4 tracks, and if we scroll down a little bit, we have the 5th track there, and we're going to mix down to that track. Firstly, I think what I'll do is I'll let you hear it without first arranging the cuts. And yes, you can imagine what it's going to sound like. Yes, it's a complete jumble. But when we separate these tracks, when we put them in order, like that, and like that, what do we get?
The federal government says the attack in Pakistan is a grim reminder that terrorism in the region is still a grave threat. Linda Mottram reports.
Noting Pakistan's vital strategic importance, including the prospect that it will soon become the world's largest Muslim nation, problems are not just a complication for Afghanistan.
But this was very much an existentialist threat to Pakistan itself.
Mr Smith says the economic and security challenges. Linda Mottram, ABC News, Canberra.
And there we have the package in proper sequence, but we haven't mixed it down. So if I saved that, then it wouldn't mean much at all. So what we'll do is we'll select this track here, and in Adobe Audition we right click and we go to Mix Down to Track Bounce, All Audio Clips Mono, and there we are. There is our mix down. So that's all of those elements mixed into one track. And we can edit that, we can preview that by going to our edit view up here, and there is the final mix down. Let's have a listen.
The federal government says the attack in Pakistan is a grim reminder that terrorism in the region is still a grave threat. Linda Mottram reports.
And really that's the way to go about mixing packages, because packages can become more complex than simply using one grab. Oftentimes you'll find a current affairs package will use two grabs. I hope that helped.